feeling?
Better.
Was it bad?
No, it wasn't too bad. It was mostly the body aches and fatigue, but I didn't have a lot of like congestion or anything like that. But the body aches were horrible,
Well,
and
that's good.
the just feeling tired all the time, and like I still don't feel 100% like back to normal. I feel like I'm just dragging and
Mm-hmm.
can't get back to my regular like rhythm of doing stuff. So I'm still, and then finally my taste buds are back to normal. That was the other thing. Like my food tasted extra salty. No matter what I ate, it was just this. It was just nasty. So I didn't have any appetite because my food was tasting weird.
Nasty,
Yes,
right. Ugh.
yes, everything was salty. Like I couldn't even eat bacon, and I love bacon, but I couldn't
Well,
eat
bacon is
my
extra
bacon.
salty on a regular. I say bacon is salty on a regular day. So,
But no, it was like salty times 100 to my taste buds, and I was
mm,
like, I can't eat it. I can't do it. Everything. I put butter on toast, and it tasted extra salty. It was just
mm,
weird. It was so
that's
strange.
terrible.
Yes, it was awful. So I just feel like I was eating salt the whole entire time.
Mm, mm, mm. Well, I'm glad you're together. I know we've been gone, what's 3 weeks? Life be
Yeah,
lifing on Sunday.
yeah.
Life be lifing on Sunday.
Mhm.
So what we doing? Rebranding. We
Yeah,
in a rebrand. How to rebrand?
yeah.
Because the biggest debacle right now is Twitter, formerly known as, well, no, X, formerly known as Twitter.
Mhm. What? It's two unnecessary rebrands that happened. It's that one and it's HBO Max going to just Max.
Oh yeah, I
And
forgot about that.
everybody's
Oh yeah.
confused. Like, what is Max? Why are you just calling it Max? Did you and Cinemax like merge? Like, I'm confused. What is
No,
going on?
no. Them and Cinemax did not merge. They, I think, what, just got new networks on there. But I'm like, it could have still been HBO
HBO Max.
Max. Like,
Yeah.
why are we Max? So I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of money being spent for literally zero reasons whatsoever. I don't know if it's because I don't know who's over HBO right now. I didn't do any research on HBO. But
Still,
again, yeah, why did it go to Max? And you had to re-download the app. You had to download
yeah,
the Max app.
yeah.
It didn't even just switch over. Like you inconvenienced your whole audience. And for
There's
what?
still a HBO Max app out there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's still showing up in my, like, if I look at my stuff on my TV, HBO Max is still showing as an app, even though
What?
there's a Max app. So
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Like it shows as an app, but when I log in, it's like, well, go to Max. It
yeah,
doesn't.
that's what I'm saying. Why not just
Oh,
deactivate the HBO Max app?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, but why just do it in the first place, or just change your name? Why did I have to go download a new download? I had to download the app. That really pissed me off, and I don't know why, but it did. And it took no time, but I'm like, but why do I have to do it? And that was like a part of my like a part of my research, like when or things to consider when you are rebranding or whatever. And the reception of your rebrand is definitely one. And I'm
Yeah,
like, are y'all even thinking about the people when you do rebrand? Like how how we're gonna take it? Because we don't even know why you're doing it. We didn't even know you were
yeah,
doing it. Mm.
yeah. Elon and this X thing just makes no sense
And
whatsoever.
from what I've seen, he stole. Okay, so somebody handle was already X or whatever. So they went. I hate to say he stole it, but it's kind of what it is. They kind of just ripped it from the original creator, and he said he's been having that platform for years, and they just offered him like another, like, here, you can change it to this.
But why? That's what I'm
And
saying. What is the why behind this?
but
Like,
why? Twitter was already known. It was already doing well. Nobody had an issue with it. Why? But yes, he took someone's handle name because X was already taken, and I think they took another person's account, at music or whatever, and they were like, you could be music lover or music 123 or music, and they're like, no, I've had it for 16 years.
Oh my God.
So
Who,
I'm sure
no one truly knows what happens in the mind of Elon Musk. So we'll leave this
does
as another
Elon
topic. Yeah,
does
it's another
Elon know? No, it's like, does Elon know? But I forgot all about HBO Max to Max because what was that about? And I think it was so much stuff going on in the world at the time. There was like literally the bottom of the totem pole. But I do remember being like irritated, highly irritated. Like, why do I have to download another app when you could have just switched it over with the app I have? I'm like, it's 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I know y'all don't have to inconvenience your audience. I know you don't have to inconvenience your audience. I know you don't, but you choosing to, and which pisses me off. And so I don't know. Maybe it's irrational, but I'm an irrational person, so I'm going to be angry.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways to rebrand
Mm-hmm.
your business, and so my thing is when you have notable logos, like appearance wise, that people recognize, that's the most risky thing to change
Ooh.
in your business,
Mm-hmm.
because people have gotten used to seeing it a certain way. They've gotten used to seeing your logo, your colors, your font, like they recognize it on, it's a visual representation of your business. When you decide to switch that, that's like probably the riskiest rebrand you could do. And it has to be a really, really, really good reason for doing something like that.
Or really subtle or
really
gradual. Yeah. Like you have Barbie. Barbie has changed their logo over time. But they still have their signature Barbie pink, the signature, there's things that keep reminding you of it, and you kind of see the difference in the logo, but not really. It's like they morph it in a way to where it's clearly recognizable as to what it is.
Yeah.
Same way with Macintosh and Apple. Apple is still Apple.
Yeah.
It just don't say Macintosh anymore. But the Apple ain't went nowhere. It just got a little bit more sleeker, a little bit more minimal, simple, or whatever. But the Apple is still the Apple. And who else? So many other people have done it. Firefox, Mozilla.
Yeah, they've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Firefox is just a ball of fire right now, ain't it? Or something like that. The Fox is gone, but yeah, like there's ways of doing it to where it's still very much so, I know what this is, versus that whole name and logo change. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I ain't no billionaire. I'm not a billionaire, so maybe I don't know. I'm just a little.
We're also not idiots either, so there's that part.
I'm just a little old me. I don't know. Maybe I don't get it. I don't know if any consideration has went in when it comes to these recent rebrands. I don't know if anybody was like, how would the people take it? What will be the impact of this? What's our vision? Are our values the same? Will the mission be the same? Like trademarking. He didn't even look into the trademarking. X has been trademarked a million times. And it's like, that's like 101. Did you not look up the legalities of all of this stuff? Like, that's literally 101. Like, look it up first to see if it's available.
Yeah, I can't make sense of it in any capacity. Like, the Bluebird has been around forever. Everybody knows the Bluebird when they see it.
Everybody knows the Bluebird. And it's distinct. It's so distinct. It's so its own thing. It's very unique. X is an X. I mean, it could be Xfinity. It could be anything. Like, I'm honestly lost. And I mean, I've been trying to like follow along and see the reasoning, the trajectory. I,
we
I'm
may not be deep enough
the
in
world may never know.
we might not be deep enough in Elon's world to understand what he's doing, why he's doing it. I mean, there's some things that he does that are really, really smart. Like I respect how he runs the Tesla business, and I respect how he is taking that brand and really elevated it into like a world-class electric car. Like other OEMs are still trying to catch up with Tesla when it comes to the technology and all of that. Now, let me say this. I don't like Teslas. I think they look basic as heck. I think it's one of the most ugly cars I've ever seen riding down the street. However, they
I
were
think the
first to
ones that you
market.
customize look better, but just the right
Yes.
off the shelf,
Yeah, off the shelf
my
is
God.
ugly.
Yeah.
The the base model, whatever that
Oh,
one is, I think it's the S.
yeah.
That one is awful. I've been inside of one. I'm like, this is it? Like this what y'all paying for? Like
That's what they're paying for.
this is a
Yeah.
battery on wheels with a computer
Yeah.
inside, with a tablet on the inside. That's it. There's
Yeah.
nothing special
Yeah.
about that car. But being first to market gave them such a good edge, and then they're so far ahead of the competitor when it comes to technology, they can actually afford to drop their price now. So if you really
Mm-hmm.
want an electric vehicle, yeah, you can go and look at a Mercedes or anybody else that's starting to manufacture now, but they're higher priced in the market now. Tesla
Sure is.
is dropping their prices because they've done such a good job at moving units and building up the brand and putting it in a position. They did really well with positioning is what I'm saying. So he does some smart things here and there, but the rocket ship and this situation with Twitter.
I can't even. It's so much to keep up with. My head. I'd be like, yeah, that is something. That's something that he's trying. Yeah, that is something.
When I first heard about the submarine, I thought that was Elon. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I mean,
It sounds like some
listen.
stuff he would do.
It does sound like stuff he'll do. It does sound like things he would do. That whole debacle introduced me to a whole new world of other
A privilege.
billionaires. Yeah, yeah. I because so long we've been introduced to we've been introduced to Elon, and that's who we've been following so closely, even though we know of others, but he puts his blunders right there on Front Street. My God.
Well,
I probably don't get it. But I did forget about the rocket ship.
Now.
I did forget about the rocket ship and taking, like the vacation to the stratosphere.
Yes.
Yeah, like
that's why I said when the submarine issue happened, and I'm not trying to make light of the people who lost their lives. Let me be clear, that was very sad. However, the whole entire thing, I swore it was Elon. Like from the minute I heard about it, I was like, "Oh, did he invent it? Like he doing submarines too and rocket ships?"
Yeah,
that's like
exactly
where my mind went. And then I kept hearing more, and I was like, "Oh, it wasn't him."
Oh, yeah. It gave half-baked Elon idea for sure. It really did. I mean, it screamed. That's him. That's his MO.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But I mean. And then that goes to prove just because you are who you are in one field and you may be this maverick or this go-getter in one field does not mean it would translate in other industries. And a part of my I have this pet peeve with people who do hop into other industries and they don't give it their full respect. You know what I mean? Like you have to do the studying, you have to. I mean, yeah, it takes a minute to learn, and not even to learn, but also dominate. You're trying to come in and dominate something that you just found out about.
Yeah.
Like give it respect first. Like figure that out. do your studying, take whatever class you need to do, but actually put in the work there. So that is one of my pet peeves that I do see amongst business owners, small and mega. Like sometimes we can go so far, like we're doing so much in the industry that we are in, that you don't respect the time it takes to actually build up and the journey that is becoming an expert or a master at something else. Because it took years to do whatever it is you're doing. You know, I'm in here. You're in you're not a tech, but you still do strategy or whatever, and you had to go to class, get master degrees, go to college. Like you didn't wake up one day and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put in my application. I'm gonna be amazing at this. Like what? Like I mean, I get the confidence, and to a point, we kind of do have to be delusional these days to get anywhere because the economy and the way things are set up, I mean, it'll beat you down. So you kind of got to have this level of confidence and delusion, like I'm gonna kill it out there to keep kind of going. But please have some respect for people's industries that people have interest in all their life. They literally have been a part of that world from 10 plus, 15 plus years. And just because you're just now seeing them pop out doesn't mean they just did this overnight. Nothing happens overnight. So,
Yeah, it kind of like, it reminds me of, like, I'm going to use this as an analogy. I hope I don't offend. I am a Michael Jordan fan, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I love Michael Jordan. But when he decided to play baseball, I was like, sir, I'm going to need you back on the basketball court. I ain't played, like, when's the last time you played baseball?
Never, probably.
Like, when's the last time you played?
Yeah. You know, that, again, forgot all about that. He was on the Wizards, wasn't it? What was it? What was the little baseball team?
Oh, he was in the minor leagues.
Minor leagues. Yes. That's what I was like, when they called like the Wizards or something. Whatever it was. I was like,
that was when he came back and played basketball. He played for Washington Wizards for a while before that. Well, yeah, Wizards.
Yeah, he
or
did.
Bullets,
okay, I'm getting
whatever it was at the time. But yeah, he played baseball, but he was so terrible that he ended up staying in the minor leagues. And yes, he was terrible. And anybody that says otherwise, you lying to yourself. Michael Jordan was terrible in baseball. Terrible.
And there's nothing wrong with it because baseball isn't his thing. It's basketball. That's his thing. You are a genius at basketball. Terrible at baseball, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Nobody told you that you had to go out there and try to be a Deion Sanders or a Bo Jackson or anybody else who played multiple sports. Now, Deion was the man. Deion was cold in baseball and in football, but he played both throughout his whole entire life. He did it in college as well. Like Michael, it just felt like a midlife crisis for Michael Jordan. Like, I can't sit here and do nothing from basketball. Let me see what else can do. Oh, let me go try baseball. Like, bro, I would have rather you go on the football field.
Unnecessary rebrand. It was an unnecessary rebrand, and it was a flop. And it was a flop. Like, why on earth, if you are literally goated in basketball, you still making money from this to this day. You always make money from basketball. Like, even when you dead and gone, you're gonna make money from it. Why?
Yep.
Why did you like I'm gonna just tip my foot in for what? Why? What was the motive? What was the reason? What was the vision? What was it? Like, what did
midlife crisis?
What was the point? And
what it was.
And we have to, like, it's not to say let's not try things, but you also have to weigh those decisions. Like, is this worth kind of bruising or tarnishing my image that I already built for myself?
Right.
Is it worth that? Because we still literally clowning him to this day for that. Like, cause is it worth that? Really?
Yes, the best contribution Michael Jordan gave to baseball was branding baseball gear and cleats. That's the best contribution he gave to the sport, is starting to make, equipment and clothing and baseball shoes in Jordan brand.
And see what's so crazy is that was an opportunity right in his face of a profitable rebrand. You can, if you see that you have something with branding and you've been working very closely with brands pretty much a good, by that time, what, 20 years?
Yeah, he had no need to jump into baseball because he had
You
already
had,
signed
yeah,
premium baseball athletes to the brand. So you're talking about a Derek Jeter wearing Jordan brand. You're talking about,
right.
I think Ken Griffey Jr. at one point may have worn some Jordan. I know he was with Nike. I don't know if he went all the way over to Jordan or not, but you were already signing athletes in
To
different
your
sports
brand,
to your
right.
brand. There was no
Why
reason
not
for him. Like I
take
said, it was
that?
straight boredom. It had to have been. There's no other
Yeah,
reason
I'm like,
for him to go play.
why not? Yeah, I'm like, why not really take hold of that route? That sounds like a very smart move. That sounds like something you were inept to, like you already knew about it. You've been doing the research on it. You got the inside connects to it. What we
Yep.
doing? But
What we're
yes,
doing.
I
And you're
yeah.
getting
What
a
are we
cut.
doing?
And you're
And you
getting a
getting?
cut. Because I can't remember what the movie, I watched the movie, but I think he gets what, 5%?
Are you talking about
Yeah.
Air? Oh, I didn't watch it, but
Uh,
yes, he does get
I think
he does get a
it's
percentage out of it.
5% of
Hmm.
all revenue from Jordan for life. 5% of, what did they gross last year? Couple $100 billion. What's
Mm-hmm.
5% of
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big
I
number.
don't know. It don't even matter what five. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what 5% of that, but a lot. It's like
Right,
it's
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm not. I don't have to do the math to know you set. I know that, and your kids are set. Your kids' kids, or whomever else
Yes,
you
the
leave the
whole,
money to, you're set.
yeah.
But again, I don't know. That's the difference between like when we rebranding. Why are we rebranding? What's a good rebrand? What's a I'm sorry, not something popping up on my screen. What's a bad rebrand? So much stuff is unnecessary. Twitter to X, HBO Max, HBO Max to Max, unnecessary. Basketball Jordan to baseball Jordan. Why?
Yep.
Well, what are we doing? Why and what are we doing? And that should be the main question with everything that you do, especially in business, is what's the why? Like, are you trying to get into a new market? Are you trying to do damage control over your image? Like you said with the submarine with what is the name of it? Ocean Gate. I think that was a horrible name anyway. I know that's the name they came out with and that's what they had, but it's a anything gate say it screams scam. It screams scandal. Like why who named
Mm-hmm.
this? Anyway, that's another another TED talk about choosing names about
Yep.
stuff. But horrible. Anyway, so they will have to do a rebrand. We had I know here even in Memphis, we had a couple of local places they went through, like allegations and stuff like that. They had to change their name. It's the same company. If you dig down deep enough, same company, same owners, had to change their name to fight damage
Yep.
control.
And
You want
a
to
lot of
change a true.
times you
Hmm.
a rebrand is a flag too, right? You need to
Hmm.
watch for companies that do a rebrand, because to your point, it could be something negative. And I did
Hmm.
see this in a particular industry where I saw, I won't say what the business did, but I will say that they were doing some illegal activity, and they got caught in the state of Florida. There was a
Hmm.
case against them. It was public knowledge, and they basically shut the business down and reopened under another name, another LLC, another
Hmm.
tax ID, which is so easy to do.
Hmm.
And they started all over again, and they did the exact same thing, same charges. They came back
Hmm.
against the same charges. The state of Florida investigated them again, and then they went back, shut the business down, started a new one up, new LLC, new EIN, new everything. And they did that like for maybe 5 rounds before they finally got federal level
Charge.
investigation
Yeah.
on them and completely took the owners down 100%. So there are, when you do decide to do a rebrand, just think of what other people are going to perceive as the reason for your rebrand. And that's one of the things that you should be clear when you're coming with your new brand is, this is kind of the new image, or this is the new messaging, or the new way we want you to see our business. Because if you don't articulate that very clearly, you're leaving it open for assumption, and people think the worst before they think anything good. Like, you hear us talking now and we're like, why did he go to Twitter? We're taking it in a negative light. And it's just human nature to think, if a business has to change something about themselves, they must have something to hide.
Right. Correct. And if you are rebranding, like you said, you have to think about that, and then think about how you're going to rebrand. Now, you can work in the background, get everything together, and just literally rebrand overnight. You can change everything in one time, quote unquote. And then, or you can also do it gradually, and really articulate what you're doing out in the open. But even if you do the rebrand overnight, there still should be some type of, not a welcome package, but a welcome package to your people, like a marketing strategy where you come out and you explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, like you were saying, even if you do it overnight or gradually. Gradually, it'll probably be easier to control your narrative. Is less jolting. You can slowly put out there, hey, we want to change our trajectory. This is what we want to focus on now. This is our niche now, or whatever. And slowly put that story out there, and then put out your new logo, put out your new name, or your new colors. You can change it, little things, one by one, something like that, just getting people acclimated to the water, so it's not just this huge shock, But if you do, some people, I'm a some person, I do like a major overhaul myself, because I just like to get everything done and out there. However, that does look suspicious. It does look it's jolting. What are you doing? I don't even recognize, because that can throw people. If you change everything overnight, your colors, your name, or your logo, and I'm following you, or I keep up with your account, suddenly this popping up I'm like, who are these people?
Yep.
You have to make sure you reintroduce yourself, you remarket yourself.
Yeah,
and say what you need to do.
You risk losing the brand recognition that you built up over a period of time. And brand recognition is not something that you can simply do overnight. It takes years to really build it and get it ingrained into people's psyche. Like, I think the saying is, if you want someone to remember something, you have to repeat it 7 times. If that is the saying about that, imagine how many times you have to repeat your brand in order for people to accept it. Because some people, top 10% tier people that really pay attention may get it after the first 7 times. Then you've got this middle sector of people who aren't really, they don't keep up with what's going on in markets and changes and stuff like that, like the 10%. And so this middle section of people, they're not paying attention. You're going to have to repeat it several hundreds of times until the masses come along. And then you have the scragglers at the tail end of the group who don't know nothing about nothing. They probably somewhere living off the grid in the woods somewhere, don't care that you changed your brand. And they probably never even recognize or realize that you changed it until, random conversation. Oh, yeah, they did used to be so-and-so. Like, it happens like that. So the repetition of it. Yeah.
Right. And most of your people, most of your audience, the people who are going to buy from you are in that curve. Like, that's basically the bell curve. You got your outliers who get it the first time, 10%.
Yep.
Not a lot of people, honey.
Yep.
And then you got the other people who they're not going to pay attention to you regardless. They just out doing their own thing. Most of your people live in their bubble, that bell. 80%. You have to constantly, and since we are, so instantaneous now, and we're online. Our attention span is smaller now, it's shorter. You have to constantly put it in people's face.
Yep.
Constantly, 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 constantly. It might seem like, oh, I'm doing too much on your end because you know who you are and all this type of stuff, but the people don't pay attention most of the time. Everybody is looking for their next thing. Everybody's just doing this most of the time. Everybody's constantly taking in information, constantly processing, constantly moving, and exposed to so much stuff. Your brain is washed out their memories so often,
Mm-hmm.
so often, and that's just
One
the truth about it.
one really smart, it wasn't a rebrand, but it was kind of a brand segregation. But one that was really smart, I think, in my opinion, and it's happened a while ago. But you remember the launch of Pink from Victoria's Secret?
Victoria's
Yeah,
Secret, yeah.
that was a really good brand strategy to me.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately noticed that there was a demographic shift in who was buying what, right? And you've got
Mm-hmm.
this, and then they were like kind of early on the whole movement to athleisure and workout clothes kind of being regular, clothes and everything. And they're noticing like Victoria's Secret's brand really is for like grown women. And it kind of exudes like a sex appeal, a sexiness to it. We don't have anything for young girls. We don't want younger ladies, young ladies in our. I mean, look at the Victoria's Secret, the runway models and the fashion show and all that stuff. It's very sexy, very sexualized. Pink was a really, really good strategy for them to get younger ladies into the store to buy things, but there's no sexualization there. And guess what? That audience grows with that brand, because when you're in the pink side, you could be in your teens, early 20s or whatever, teens, whatever. But then as you get older, you mature, you start to figure out who you are as a woman, your sexuality. Oh, I'm gonna venture and walk over to the Victoria's Secret side and start buying some stuff. It was a really, really, really well thought strategy, and I thought it was really good when they launched it, and I think it still works today.
Yeah, it does, because for whatever reason, I know some people really, really struggle with talking about just hygiene, undergarments, this and the other. And like you say, you don't want to sexualize your child or whatever, but you do have to teach them there are certain undergarments that go with certain things. And like if you're wearing this material or this color, this is like I feel like it really does work as a tool. Also, like you could come in here with me. They're bright bubblegummy type of colors and all this, but you can still explain to them like this is age appropriate undergarments, but when you wear this, you can go to this. Without taking it sexualization away from it. Like this is the undergarments that you need to wear with this particular outfit to, reduce panty lines or, broad, all that stuff. Like it could be a whole conversation thing, like where it's not so much as you have this, you're trying to do something for the male gaze. This is just what you need to know as a woman or a young lady going into womanhood. Your body's changing. You need this underwear for this bra for this, because we have a lot of undergarments, y'all. If there are any men on here, it's not just bra and panty.
Right.
No. We wish, but no, it's high rise, seamless, cheeky, thong, hipster. It's a million things, and each one go with something. T-shirt bras, deep plunge, deep back. And you need a safe space to just talk to your daughter about those things, taking away the sexualization from it. And then whenever they're ready for it, like you say, you can go to the next aisle over or the next side, and whenever they're ready for the sexy part. But here you go. You still got all these things over here that enable you to dress like you need to dress without showing off too much.
Right. And you can make your daughters feel like, I have a place to shop for my underwear, and I don't have to buy the 3-pack of underwear from Walmart when we run into the store, or I ain't gotta buy the 5 for $20 out of Target. I can actually get something quality, and it's not. I don't feel like I'm, grown, or I'm dressing outside of my age.
You're introducing your child to the experience of actually shopping for and taking pride in their undergarments.
Yes.
Like you said, the 3-pack, the 4 for $5 or whatever, like you just throw that. Some ain't real. Mm-mm. I'm sorry. Like you can still do those, but them not. Like, it's not the same. Yeah, like them period draws. Them, like you just don't show them the same type of respect. That's all I'm saying. You just don't. That's just the truth. Because there wasn't an experience there when you bought it. So, and you haphazardly just you just toss it in a basket. Like they don't really generate the idea of like, oh, this is nice things. This is precious. Let me just it just doesn't do that for you. So you introduce them into this world of experience and a type of luxury, because experience is a luxury.
Yep.
So that you just don't get going into Target and throwing the drawers in the basket, or Walmart and throwing it. It's not the same. I don't care what you say, it ain't the same. We ain't gonna argue about it, but it ain't the same.
The femininity part of it, right? Like it's
right.
Or you're not buying your underwear out of a retail
a grocery store.
Yeah, a grocery store or a big super store or something like that. It's meant for women. Yeah. And you can go in as a woman, and whether you are a trans woman or cisgender woman, whatever you do,
or young, old,
whatever, there's a space for you to go and shop for yourself and feel good about yourself. And then you can get the scents and the lotions and the body wash and all of that stuff, and really tap into what it is to feel, feminine
and you have people there to help you. You got questions. I mean, it's just not the same. It's not the same. You're introducing them into a lifestyle, a luxury, and experience.
Yep.
And you're also simultaneously saying it's okay to feel good when you have on these garments. It's nothing wrong with that. For you to feel good about what goes, and take pride with what goes on your body underneath what everybody else can see.
Yeah, so. It was a really good marketing strategy, and I liked it when it came out, because it was like, dang, like there's really a space for young ladies to go now, because you can't take your daughter on La Perla.
There she. Oh, I'm like, am I frozen?
Yeah, I'm
not frozen. I'm like, yeah, because I remember my mom used to have she used to have the Victoria's Secret catalogs. She also, when catalogs was a thing, we know this. Look, I'm showing my age, okay, but she also had Fredericks of Hollywood, and I'd be like looking through that stuff, and I'm like, oh, I love all of this. My mom like, girl, put my stuff down. You're not gonna get nothing out of here. And I'm like, where I can go to get something cute? And she's like, girl, you too. No, you're not getting nothing.
And that damn Fredericks of Hollywood, look. I think I've maybe bought 1 or 2 things out of there. Never bought nothing else again.
You're right. So it's not even comfortable.
No,
so
it's like one step. Fredericks of Hollywood is literally one step from a sex store, y'all. Like for real, it's just just one
like
step away from just going.
Yeah.
Just walk into your local sex store, you will see the same stuff that you see at Fredericks of Hollywood.
It's one step. They just don't do all the other stuff. But if they were to, one step. But I'd be like, oh, these are cute. I'm like, girl, put down my stuff. So yes, it did open up another, because before that, like you said, you just go to Walmart, Target, throw some drawers in there. If you're lucky, you might got something out of Macy's or something. If you're lucky.
Yeah, if
Nah,
you're lucky.
but but that was like if you like graduating or something, like you had somewhere to be or a wedding to be in, you might get something
Mm-hmm. Yep.
from those places. But other than that, no, 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 no. So a niche, exactly. Like why would we rebrand? You saw there was a underserved community that needed whatever experience or service or products that you want to
Yep.
provide. And so did they close down Victoria's Secret? No, they just built the umbrella. This is just another facet of Victoria's Secret.
Yep.
So who else did a smart one? I don't know. I'm just we've been bombarded by dumb ideas so much lately. I don't even know the smart ones anymore.
Let me think.
Who else?
I think Jordan did a really good job when they separated from Nike and became their own brand. They were smart enough
They did do that.
to
They did do that.
recognize, yeah, they were smart enough to recognize that they had enough brand recognition and the brand was
Mm-hmm.
strong enough that it could stand on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people still think, yes, they are still affiliated with each other. Nike is still
Mm-hmm.
like manufacturer, but the brand Jordan is separate.
Yeah.
Same thing. I want to see the same thing happen though with Yeezys. I want to
Why
see,
that was in my
yes,
head when you said
I want to
Jordan.
see
Oh,
the same thing happen with Yeezys because right now it's still Adidas and his brand is strong enough, I think, to be recognized on its own. Now, if he's gonna have any common sense enough to do something smart with it, I don't know. But there is an opportunity for him to really invest in Yeezy and get his own manufacturing and his own distribution and completely cut ties with Adidas once and
yeah.
for all.
Because when you say his brand is strong enough, I'm like, his brand is strong enough, but is he
I don't
strong
know.
mind enough to do?
Kanye is like an Elon to me. He does some smart stuff and
Yes.
then he does some stupid stuff, and I just don't know which
Yeah.
way he's gonna go
But
and
same
how
way
it's gonna end up.
with exactly same way with Elon. Twitter was a very strong brand.
Yes,
The
and it was
the,
smart for
the
him to buy
owner
it.
the owner gave you something that literally ran itself at that point. I mean, he overpaid for it. Um,
I don't
um,
think he did.
well, I think he overpaid for it. I think he I forgot the stats. I was reading the article or whatever, but from what he's making back off of it, it was a over. It wasn't a smart buying choice for him.
Mm,
Not to say that it couldn't have done well. I really do think it's just
uh,
him. He just
yeah,
mismanaging it.
yeah,
Yeah. So
and
from
that brings up
go
another
ahead.
good rebrand story.
Hmm.
Papa John's.
Yeah, I used to work there. Go ahead.
Do you remember when Papa John's CEO got into all that trouble and they
Yeah,
made
of
him
course.
step down?
Uh
And then they had to
huh.
go through this complete overhaul of the
Mhm.
brand. And
Mhm.
they didn't necessarily rebrand, but they had a whole lot of mess to clean up with
Damage
getting,
control, a
yeah, a
lot.
lot of damage control to do with outing that CEO. And then Subway has rebranded
Mhm.
too. And if you think about it, they laid low for a really long time
Mhm.
after the Jared scandal. After he
Mhm.
got caught with all the child pornography and everything, you didn't
Mhm.
hear shit
Nothing.
from Subway for like
No foot long.
years. You didn't
Nothing.
hear it wasn't a
Yeah.
commercial.
Mhm.
It wasn't nothing. Like they just sat there and was like, "We're not doing nothing until this blows over." And they gave it like a good 3 or 4 years
Mhm.
before they came back. And now, if you pay attention, Subway's marketing expenses have to be through the roof because look at all these damn celebrities doing these
Mhm.
Subway commercials now. You got
Mhm.
Steph Curry, hell, half the
Athletes.
damn
Yeah.
NBA on the damn
Yeah.
commercials. You got NFL players, you got soccer players, women from the U.S. soccer team, a whole bunch people like Olympians. You have all these people doing these
Mm-hmm.
Subway commercials. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder how much they paying for. They
A lot.
pay for this market.
A lot.
This marketing.
But I guess to them it's smarter or less risky than hanging their hat on just like the everyday person where we don't really know what's going on behind the closed doors. I guess they feel like we don't know what's going on behind anybody's closed doors, but I guess they feel like they kind of been vetted with other companies because other companies are affiliated with these people too. So maybe they think it's less risky to kind of hang their hat on this. I don't know. But that was a smart
Transition.
rebrand. Yeah.
And it was
And
necessary because I mean Jared had become the face of Subway.
yeah. And when you thought about Subway, you thought about Jared. Yeah, for sure.
So like they really had to do some serious market research and hire some for real legal guns to start to pull apart Jared from Subway because they had gotten so intertwined. Like
Jared was Subway was Jared. Yes. Like he was legit the spokesperson. Yes. Like he was the face. It was synonymous. And thinking back on it, I mean, I guess living through it, they really did do a good job because you didn't really notice when they finally came back to the scene that Jared wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like I don't even really put them together anymore. You know who else did a crazy good rebrand or like Domino's?
Oh yeah.
Domino's. Listen, y'all. I don't even know if y'all remember or if y'all was alive when Domino's back in the 90s, but they used to taste like throw up. It was terrible. Okay, people hated them. Domino's was like the bottom of the barrel. Like if you ordering Domino's, that was not a good look. It was like, oh, Domino's. Mm-hmm. Like, how dare you? Like that stuff you fed like the kids at a big party, or it was just not the pizza that adults were going for, or anybody who liked pizza was going for.
And they did that bad story about the guy who relieved himself on the pizza. Like,
yeah,
how do you come back from that? Like, and it went to a hospital.
And then not even that, do you remember the when they came out with the Noid? And I think they started to redo the Noid too.
Yeah.
And so they had that one guy whose last name was Noid or something like that, and he came in with a gun and was acting like Domino's took his name, and that was a whole thing too. Like Domino's been through a lot, y'all. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're still here and they're literally still growing. And they've gotten better with their actual taste and the recipes of their stuff. Like, bravo, like literally bravo. But they used that Noid character to kind of like take your attention away from all the foolishness going on behind the scenes at Domino's. But they've done a really, really good job with rebranding themselves and becoming one of those. Not so much as a like, you eating Domino's type of place.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard. Well, if that's in your head, like something like, gross, and you can come back from that and people actually order it and like it and that's their preferred pizza, that kudos.
Yep. And
I think they took advantage of Papa John's.
I think the situation with Papa John's, that definitely helped them. And then Pizza Hut just started to tank for whatever reason. The quality of their food just went down. It just didn't taste the same. I remember when Pizza Hut was,
the top
pizza ever. Like
people loved it. Yeah, and I think it came from the marketing strategy of nobody out pizzas the Hut. Like I think they became too busy of being the brand that always came out with these new pieces, these new ideas, these new ways of eating and cooking pizza, that they kind of just forgot about the quality and it fell off.
Yep.
And again, an unnecessary rebrand. You were already up here as far as what people liked about pizza and the quality. Why do you have to do all this other stuff?
Yeah.
Like you it wasn't broken. So you really didn't have to fix it.
And Domino's Domino's got really smart in their marketing because they started to attack fast food restaurants. Instead of just other pizza companies, they started talking about, why would you want soggy fries? Why do you want a soggy burger when you order your food? It should be hot, it should be fresh, it should be this, that, the other. And then they also jumped in on the tech piece. And that was really, really smart because, they're a pizza company. What pizza company is thinking about technology? Domino's is. Domino's
a smart
right.
Yeah.
You can go on the app and you can track your pizza the whole entire way to your house. If you want to order, if you want to split the order, you can do it this way. They did so much in the app and technology wise that it started to make them stand out and be like, okay,
they started pulling away from competition. It really, yeah. And I think even back in the day, weren't they one of the first pizza or restaurants that kind of got into the 30-minute or less delivery or whatever? Like, they kind of always been really, really good at doing things first or kind of thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
It had its issues with thinking outside the box, as thinking outside the box does, but Domino's has always pretty been good, clearly, because they're still around.
Yeah.
Even after being like the most disgusting pizza ever for years. It was a running joke. They're still here. But like you said, and when I think about, the technology with pizza, Domino's was first.
Yep.
Or I put them first. If it was somebody else, y'all didn't do a good job with your marketing and putting that out there. Because in my head, Domino's did that.
Yep.
And even through COVID, I think they were one of the better restaurants during COVID. They adapted better because they had already introduced technology. They just they just like, oh, we already pretty much there. They didn't have to do all that, mental gymnastics and figuring stuff out and read. They constantly do rebrand themselves, and it has worked for them over the years.
Yeah, and they did a good job of also during the pandemic when they started. Well, no, it was right after the pandemic, I think. They started noticing like financial stuff going on in the economy and everything, and so they launched that program. Remember, they did the we'll give you a $2 credit if you come and pick up your pizza versus getting it delivered, and they hit it from several different angles. One, we're putting money back into your pocket as a consumer, right? Even though it's $2, it's still money, and you never know who might need that $2. Two, we're being environmentally friendly, right? We're taking some of our drivers off the road to come and leave and then go deliver your pizza. You can just come and pick it up on your way home or whatever. We're reducing the carbon footprint, and our emissions into the atmosphere by cutting how many drivers we have on the road, by allowing you the option to come pick up your own food if you're already out. Like, it was so many ways that they attacked it, but it was really, really smart. And I think that campaign did really well because
they're still doing it.
Yeah, they're still doing it. And people like these times, people were looking to trying to pinch any penny they could. Like any penny. The penny ain't even gonna do nothing for your life, but we want the penny. We want the penny. Don't take my penny. Because even now they're doing, I think they were like, not too long ago, they gave 20% off everything on the menu or off of your total, because they were like, times are hard. Yep.
It's
like $2 a pizza. If you over time, you got a little credit there,
and if you go every right, and if you go every week, baby, I got me a free pizza by in week 2, week 2, 3.
Because once a month, I'm gonna have me a month.
I got me a free little pizza, and like I said, and they do the 20% off. They literally was like, hey, times are hard. Take 20% off your whole thing. And it's like, who doing that? Because the times are hard. Like, and they're not, and that has helped them build. They haven't lost it all from that. They built, because the fact of the matter is, we are consumers. We're going to spend more, actually. If I feel like I'm saving money, or I feel like you gave me a discount, this, and the other. It's going to open up disposable cash that really ain't disposable. But the fact that I felt like now I can get something else. So more than likely, I'm going to still spend the same amount I was and get more, or I'm going to spend more and get more.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how we say, that's
Yeah.
psychological. And they're really, really good at that. I mean, and I know we talk about Pinky Cole every time. She good at it too.
Yep.
Pinky will give away some slutty vegan in a heartbeat. And I don't think that she even really, I don't even think she feel it coming out of her pockets. Like, because people are going to still, one, I'm going to come back because now they'll save me some slutty vegan money that I was finna spend.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to spend it later. I'm just finna give it right back to you anyway. She give away the haircuts, she does a lot of philanthropy work and it comes back for her. Like, you're not going to miss on anything by giving. You're really not.
Right.
So
the best rebrand I think I've seen in my lifetime. I could be wrong. I might be missing some steps here, but this one was really, really good. Amazon, y'all.
Yes,
Amazon,
that was on my list.
It's probably one of the best rebrands in the history of business. This company went from an online book to an online anything you want, anything you can fathom, think of, you get it, and you get it delivered to your house.
Yeah.
Like,
regardless of how you feel about Bezos and whatever he do with his life outside of that.
We can kind of separate that. Now, Bezos isn't the CEO anymore.
Yeah.
He's stepped down. He's probably still on the chair, executive chair.
Sure.
But he's not CEO anymore. He doesn't do that much. Let's move on. Amazon and their look, they went from books,
it was an online bookstore out of his garage
to digital books to a superstore, a digital superstore that offers any and everything, to groceries, to audio books, to music streaming,
everything,
to
music streaming, television, yep, subscriptions. He does I say he, but Amazon, subscriptions. I mean, literally
data
anything.
And cloud.
Yeah, literally anything. It's kind of crazy.
Who saw that coming? Nobody.
No.
Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody.
And who? And do you know how much confidence and like real vision you have to be a person that started with just wanting to make books available, to getting into digital cloud platforms and all these different types of cloud storage and data mining, data management. Like, AWS is working with some of the largest companies in the world managing their data. And it started from a man with a bookstore in his garage.
And that's crazy.
Like, that's honestly even more innovative than Apple, honestly.
Because in my head, with the computer and technology, you went from paperback. In my head, I don't even know how you walked this particular journey. I don't even understand how you walked that path. I don't understand how you connected the path, because even like with Rihanna, she's a good rebrander as well, and she just stepped down from Fenty or whatever. It still kind of makes sense for her. She was a singer, she's an entertainer, she's kind of in this industry already. You're exposed to hair, you're exposed to makeup, you're exposed to wardrobe. So that kind of, I can see how you can walk down that path and put them all together. The garage paper bookstore, whatever, to now, I don't even, what are you talking about? How you get there? Who found you? Who said all right? Like this, it is a good story. It's a good story. It's amazing. It really is.
Yes.
And
like how?
it's the stories like that that get so many of us in this delusion mind state to where we feel like, our $1 billion ideal is right there too. Like all I gotta do is just keep. But there is some we know that man had a strategy. He had some type of vision, some type of mission. Like it just doesn't come out of the blue just because you want it.
Right.
Like there is planning involved. There is risk taking, risk management. Like so many people who have made it to where they made it were homeless.
Yes.
or just literally did not have money. Like, and if you're not willing to kind of go balls to the wall like that and lose it all and take those huge risks like that, the reality is you might not end up there. Not saying it can't happen, but all these people that we kind of do look at in these positions and we're like, oh, they did it, I can do it too. Please go see what they went through.
Yeah.
Please really go look into their story. Like do a deep dive and really ask yourself, are you going to do all of that?
Yes.
Because I don't want to be homeless ever. Like I don't want to experience this. There's literally no dream that I have in my head that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be homeless. Like, no, I ain't got nothing in my head that I'm willing to go homeless for. I really don't.
And folks don't
I really don't
understand. Like, it's not a one bullet thing. Like,
right.
When you have to think about this, like for real, like when you're pointing and shooting a gun, like you need a full mag of bullets. Those for your ideas, and when your ideas are in this mag, you're gonna shoot and you're going to miss. It could take you several rounds before you get the one that goes right.
One.
And folks don't understand that. They think I got the one now and this one is gonna take me from point A to point B, and it's like, no, these people failed several times before it actually started working. The trick is, one, you gotta fail fast. Like the faster you fail, the faster you can get back up and start something else or tweak what it is. If you want to stick with that idea, then tweak what you need to tweak and get it back going. But you have to go as fast as hell. And the other one is, like, a lot of people don't realize you need the resources. Like, those had, grown Amazon to a point before he started dipping into all of these other industries. And he was willing to risk and lose significant investment in some of these ideas before he got the right one. And there are several white papers out there about Amazon ideas that failed and how much money they cost the company. And we're not talking thousands, we're talking millions. We could be in the $1 billion range over a course of time for all of the ideas that failed through that company. But they were willing to take that risk and to make that type of investment. We don't always do that. A lot of us don't have the resources to do it, right? But then if you have several ideas, you got to find a way. You got to find a way to fund what it is that you want to do. And then when you fail at it, like, it's just what do you call it? It's a sunk
your recovery.
It's a sunk
Yeah, your recovery has to be fast. Yeah, your recovery has to be fast too. Like, you got to fail fast and recover fast.
Yes.
Because failing is a part of it, period. Like all of this failing, I mean, it's a part of it. Some people, even if you feel like this person, whomever, had a good, beginning story, like, oh, but they stuff took off. I promise you that they've been doing this for a long time. Like, longer than you know. Like, I know people were like saying that about Lil Wayne at one point in time, like, oh, but he popped up. I'm like, but he literally was doing this underground, like, since he was a kid. Like, he was a child. Even though he was a child or a kid when he was discovering and kind of made it big, he has still been doing this all before. And he's a smart guy, really smart guy. He's not.
He does
the man
things, but he is not.
Yeah, he does stupid things, but or whatever, or immature things because he was young. But he was a really smart guy. And more than, it's just like we can't look at everybody's story and just adapt it to us. You know what I mean? Like without looking at all the options. Like this is only one outcome and it worked for that person at that particular time because of XYZ was in place.
Yeah.
So many things have to be in place for things to really pop off the way you want them to pop off. And you usually need, and the fact of the matter is sometimes that happens through divinity. It does sometimes, but not all the time and not a lot actually. Those are the truth. So you need a strategy, you need a plan, you need some type of contingency to hold you over. And like we said, a lot of these people went broke. And we ain't talking about a little broke like I still got somewhere to stay. No, I'm talking about they went broke, like living in a car or living on somebody's couch or living on, like, these people didn't have money, food, like, and if that is not what you're willing to do, and I know a lot of business owners say that, like, you put so much into your stuff, it's so easy to lose. And then especially when you're doing unnecessary rebranding, if you got something that works for you, really, really be smart. Or if you have brand recognition is so valuable. Yep. It's one of the most valuable things that you own as a business owner is your brand recognition. So if you build up yourself in a way, use that to your advantage. Don't just throw it down. Don't just throw it out. Yeah. Like, ask yourself why. Why am I rebranding this? Actually have a real legit reason. Is it, you want to do something else, a new trajectory? Think about how your audience is going to take it. Think about how you're going to express that message to your audience and to make sure they come along for the ride with you. Yeah. And most of the time, everybody don't come. Like, I'm a stylist. If I, as a stylist, and this is something that we tell people, the stylists that struggle the most or a lot are the ones that hop around from chair to chair, salon to salon, whatever. They're always hopping around. Your people not gonna come. You constantly, everywhere you move yourself to, like, people like stability. People like what they know. Mm-hmm. We love what we know. As much as we want to try new stuff, we want to try to do stuff with the people we already know. Right. And we don't want to switch it up. So when you're doing something new, and like when we built our salon, I went there, in my head I already knew, like, oh, I'm going to lose about 10% of my clientele. I did not end up losing that. I don't even think I lost maybe 1%. I don't even think I did that. But the truth of the matter is, when you're moving, though, that's just the margin that is given. 10% of people might not come with you. And if you can't afford to lose 10% of your revenue or your audience, you might want to rethink it. Right. Or find another way of coaxing them in with you to reduce that margin down. So,
and honestly, you're lucky if it's 10%, because really, especially like larger corporations and stuff, like,
yeah, larger corporations
when you're making a shift of that magnitude, a good turnover rate is like 30% or more. Mm-hmm. They don't expect to get half of the people in the initial run of their rebrand. Yeah. They're thinking somewhere between 25 to 30% of the people will adopt the new brand initially. That's a big loss when you think about it, and they're prepared to cover that over a period of time. Mm-hmm. The crazy thing, though, is sometimes, like when you said about thinking about why you're rebranding, that's like 100% key in this whole entire conversation, because you may not need a rebrand. Yep. You may just need damage control or some type of refresh of your brand in order to bring it back to life or to put it back in the forefront. You don't always need a hard shift or a hard change. You just have to kind of do the research and think about what specifically you're wanting to do long term before you make an adjustment like that. As an example, Joe went through 2 rebrands,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of y'all know, some of y'all don't know, my husband owns a business. He started out as JD Body Sculpting, and it was personal training. And he did personal training and workouts, and then he was trying to train for bodybuilding shows and stuff like that. Well, now he's a massage therapist. He couldn't stay JD Body Sculpting, right? Because it didn't quite mesh well. So he completely redid his brand. He's JDBS Wellness now. He kept the JDBS because people knew what JDBS was. They had seen the letters all the time. They saw the logo, all of that. So he kept that part of his identity because that is the most long-standing part of his business. But he refreshed the brand, the logo. He refreshed the font. He refreshed the colors to get more neutral colors to kind of drive relaxation and tranquility when you look at his brand, because he's a massage therapist. And he added stuff like, you know, the lotus flowers and all of the stuff that makes you think of spa and massage and everything. He incorporated that into the brand to make you think more of massage and not bodybuilding or working out anymore. Now, do people still ask him about personal training? Yes, they do. That's just how strong the brand is. People still reach out to him and ask him, do you still do personal training? No, he does not. But people still ask him if he does it. But it was such a good idea for him to keep the part of the brand that he knew people recognized, and he had the equity in. And he kept that equity, and then just cascaded it over to his new business venture. So that's like some of the kind of strategic things you have to think about when you're considering a rebrand. And the number one question is, why do I need, like Tequila said, why do I need, or why do I feel the need to rebrand what it is I already have? Can I just tweak it a little bit? Can I keep the equity that I have? Can I change a color or something to make it more vibrant? Because my color palette may not be attracting the right type of people that I want, or the right type of attitude that I want people to feel when they see it. Do I just need to change something like that? Maybe my font's too messy and it's not legible and people can't understand what it is I'm saying. Like, those are questions you can ask yourself before you decide to go down a path of, I need a whole new slate of things to do. Because once you
I think you're right. And I think we sometimes we underestimate how much work, like anytime you totally change everything, you're still building. Like, you have to build again. Now you have to introduce people to what you are or who you are now, and you have to put that work in for them to recognize you as that. Because like you said, like Joe, now people are still, are you bodybuilding? Now I still have to do the work and put the work in and constantly put that content out into your face that, no, this is not what I do, this is who I am. Like, there is work in reintroducing yourself. And it's kind of egotistical to think, oh, I got this amazing idea and it's just gonna pop when I do all it. Like, no, you're gonna have to do the work. You're gonna have to work. And you're probably gonna have to work years before you see the revenue or the turnaround that you're looking for. And unfortunately, that's just the truth. Like, the most realistic way of going about this is knowing that that your idea is probably amazing. It's probably a great idea, but you have to sell the people on your idea. You have to sell people on the narrative. And there is a lot of work. It's not too many objects that just sell themselves.
I'm taking one of the sister companies up under my organization through a rebrand right now, and it's tough. Like, I'm not my whole study thing that it does not market. I've been learning marketing on the fly, for real, y'all. Like, strategy goes hand in hand with marketing, so I have literally had to, like, do a fast track learning on marketing and do marketing for this company. And their rebrand has been very difficult because they're associated with a organization that has filed bankruptcy. And so every time they go to anyone to bid on any kind of business, everything in their logo and everything says that they're affiliated with the company. And they're going to go and they're going to Google, and the first thing that comes up is a bankruptcy. Now, they're not the first company to go through a bankruptcy. They won't be the last. It's not uncommon for companies to go through bankruptcy. It happens all the time. But it just draws a trust thing when you go in to bid on business and they go and they Google you and they see your parent organization went through a bankruptcy. So now they're looking at you and they're like, well, how stable are you? Are you going to be in business for the whole entirety of the contract? Bankruptcy was 7 years ago, maybe now. And it's still being brought up as a point of contention or a point of conversation in these bids. And so they were like, we don't know what to do. And I said, you've got to completely disassociate yourself from the parent company for now and rebrand yourself in a way that shows services that are 100% separate from what the parent company does, so that you can stand on your own legs. And when you go to bid and they read all your bidding documents, they're looking at your entity. They're not looking at your parent company's entity. And they had no idea how to do it. And we literally had to start from ground zero. We did a bunch of market research. We started talking to customers. We started talking to people within the organization. What's going to make this company stand out? What's the brand proposition? What is the equity in the existing, logo and the way that it looks? What about online real estate? How's our website performing right now? We did months of research just to see where they were right now. And then we put together like a holistic plan of switching them from the brand they are today to another brand. And I mean, new logo, new tagline, new proof points, new website, it's a complete overhaul. And it's taking months to do. And then even after we do that, there's a whole introduction period that we're going to have to go through with this company, where we're going to have to put them out there as basically a brand new company. And
because branding and marketing is not the same thing. Even it's hand in hand, but we act like we can interchange it, and we cannot. Branding is one thing. That's your image. Marketing is how you put that image out there. Two different things. We have to understand that. So we can talk about marketing on another one, but branding, rebranding, and marketing, they are not the same thing. I hate that we say branding and marketing, because I'm like, y'all know it ain't together, right? Y'all do know it's two separate rooms, right? Like two separate strategies, two separate all those things.
They are definitely sisters, but they are not twins or the same. Yeah, they two different efforts.
But I think, okay, we're going to end it because I think we almost coming up on our hour, but I think that was pretty good. The main takeaway, if we're going to do rebrands, because a rebrand can make or break you, and it's been doing a lot of breaking lately with people, because we don't even know if X going to be around for, it might not make it 5 years. Let's just be honest.
It might be the conservatives' complaint.
Oh well, yeah, you go. But that's a whole different thing from where it was. So, but anyway, so just know why you rebranded. Really, really had it together. Like, what are you doing? Really ask the question and answer it as neutrally as possible. Why do you need this rebrand? And then consider how your audience is going to receive it. Consider the impact it's going to have on your brand. Consider if your vision, your values, your missions are going to be the same, or are we going to do something totally different. Consider trademarking. Look at your legalities. Because when you rebrand, you change your name, changing logo, changing colors, literally all these things, even the products or the services that you're offering may be trademarked, may have some legal issues that you might have to run into. Do your research before you rebrand.
And test. Test how it performs. And it's so simple to do nowadays. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money to do a test on your brand research. Like, go to a pop-up shop with your new brand and see how people react. That's a low-cost way to do it. Ask your current customers if they would mind filling out a survey for you. And that's an easy, free way to do it. Like, test the brand before you do a full launch. Like, don't just throw it out there and you know, shake it up like you're gonna shake the wrong people. You gotta get some type of feedback on how people feel about it, because that test, that, you know, that group of test subjects that you use, they're gonna, if they're trusting, they're gonna give you honest feedback. And those are opportunities for you to adjust and change what you need to before you take it to market and it completely bombs. And then you spend a whole lot of money going back to the drawing board when you could have tested it with a small subset of people and then launched.
Right.
Yep.
And so once you figured out the why and did your considerations, then think about how you're going to do it. Are you going to work in the background, changing everything behind the scenes, and then doing like this hard relaunch overnight, or more instantly? I won't say overnight because there still be some stuff lagging, but a more of a hard relaunch, or do you want to do something more gradual? We change your name, not change your name, but change the colors, maybe start tweaking your message, maybe start tweaking your audience, start, just putting the narrative out there. The gradual way is a lot easier. It's easier received.
Yep.
You have more of a risk with a hard relaunch because, again, you're risking your brand recognition with your audience.
The equity is
already built in it. Yeah. Right. So take that in consideration. Usually, again, if you're gonna do a hard one, it looks weird. It gives a red flag off. Especially when you haven't primed anyone to say, hey, be looking out for it. It looks like you are covering something up. You might not be. You could just be changing your trajectory. You could just not do whatever it is you're doing anymore. But it looks like, just know that. So when you get to the marketing stage, put that into your marketing, in your marketing strategy. Like, let's control this narrative and tell the people what's going on and this, that, and the other. So hopefully y'all learned something. And if you are rebranding or think you need to rebrand, hopefully this puts something on your mind to really do some research and sit down, ask yourself some questions, plan it out, and really get to the issue, the pain point of why you feel like a rebrand is what you need and not a refresher or something like that.
Yeah, and don't use X, y'all.
Yeah, don't use X. It's so general. X. My God, how general is that? It's an alphabet. It's like one alphabet. That's I don't even want to talk about that anymore. He made all that money for no reason. Just saying, just doing crazy stuff. Anyway, but thank y'all for joining. Hope y'all learned something. Hope that was helpful in a way, and we'll be back. We'll let y'all know when we coming back and what we talking about. We probably talk about marketing since we talked about branding on this one, or rebranding. We
might dig but thank y'all a little bit more.
Yeah, because they definitely are different. So thank y'all for joining us. Bye.
Bye, y'all.